You're listening to WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul.
Good morning, Savannah. I'm Wayne Waters. You're listening to Savannah Lexicon on WRUU-LP 107.5. We're streaming online from the heart of Savannah's downtown historic district. Savannah Lexicon is a show designed to inform the listener about important social, political, and cultural issues that shape Savannah. And we speak with all sorts of folks, representatives from the government, social service organizations, artists, writers, all kinds of people who can shed some light on how to live a well-informed, full life here in the most beautiful city in the nation, Savannah, Georgia. My trusty producer, Keith Baudry, and I are on air every Wednesday from 9 to 10 in the morning, and we surely do appreciate you for listening. Okay, this is our first show in the brand new year of 2017. Brand new year filled with brand new possibilities and opportunities. But for many, the end of the year holidays can be kind of tough, and the new year fraught with pressures and uncertainty. So I wanted to bring in this morning a representative with an organization that offers very affordable professional mental health counseling to people with limited income. And it's an organization with an absolutely perfect acronym. The organization is Heads Up Guidance Services, or HUGS. And if you need a hug in this new year and find it daunting, we do have with us this morning the organization's founder and managing director, Andrea Epting. Good morning, Andrea. Welcome to Savannah Lexicon.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So I guess that is kind of true. Do you think? I mean, the holidays can be wonderful and joyous, of course, but they're very stressful. They can be very stressful, both financially, emotionally. You might be dealing with money issues. You might be dealing with family issues that can be difficult sometimes. So do you guys sort of get some people coming in to see you sort of this time of year?
Yeah, absolutely. This time of year, not so much over the holidays, which is the interesting thing. So during those very stressful times, people tend to step away from their normal healthy routine, and part of that is kind of taking a break from therapy, perhaps. And so during the holiday season, we see a flux where people pull away. So this time of year, things have gotten really, really tough. Everything has been mounting. People haven't been staying on top of their mental and emotional needs. And so, yes, come January, February, it's time to get back into counseling.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I thought, and one of the reasons that I invited you here today at this time. Okay, first off, excuse me. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your own background, and
Okay. Well, I'm a licensed professional counselor, master's addictions counselor, and a certified sex therapist. I'm also a supervisor to other licensed professionals in the community. And I was in private practice and felt it placed upon my heart to start a nonprofit where everybody who wanted health and growth and wanted to better their lives could receive counseling services.
Excellent. So it's kind of aimed at that population who might have, although I imagine
it's actually not aimed at a population.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's very interesting because people who have found the benefits of counseling have also found it, if they can receive excellent services for $15 an hour, why pay $150 or $250?
Okay. All right. Well, it may not be aimed at that population, but the
they
fact
can
that
receive
it is
services.
that cost
Yes.
is a primary ingredient that
Absolutely.
makes this so accessible for a lot of people who might not otherwise be able to take advantage of it.
HUGS is accessible for all people, which is not just that it's a discounted rate for $15, but we also have a ready-to-work component, so any individual who can't afford counseling can come and volunteer for the organization, which also builds skills for them, and then in turn for those volunteer services, they get a clinical hour.
Okay, yeah, the ready-to-work program.
Yes.
offers opportunities for participants to work on site in exchange for services. Okay, excellent. All right, I'm just curious. Are you from here? Been here long? Or
I was born and raised in Savannah, Georgia.
Is that right? Well, that makes it double good.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and now I notice on the site that you have a number of sort of outreach partners that you work with. Tell us some of those organizations and how that works, kind of.
In addition to our on-site services, and we have a plethora of different services that we provide.
Okay, and hold on just a minute. Your facility is
at 706 Wheaton Street.
Okay,
Savannah, Georgia, right down the road.
And your email address? Not email, but the
website.
Okay, address.
It's Heads Up Savannah, or info at headsupsavannah.com.
Okay, good. All right, go ahead. So you were talking about some of the...
So we have lots of services on site, but in addition to that, some other organizations from the community who have a need for counseling for their participants or their particular population will call us in to provide those services. So we have what we call community partners, where we go on site to their location to provide counseling services to their specific population. And we develop programs that meet their specific needs based on what that organization is doing. And we have about 5 to 6 partners right now, and I'd love to mention some of them because we're very
go right ahead.
proud of our partners and have really enjoyed that relationship.
I'll give one just because it was our very first guest here on Savannah Lexicon is Step Up Savannah, which is an organization I think a lot of. So that's one that works with you.
And we work very well together. It's a great representation of how other organizations can come together to implement counseling services without having to recreate the wheel. They can just hire Hugs to come in and provide those services, and we make it fit exactly for their population and their needs, and we can do all different types of programming. So yes, Step Up Savannah is one of our partners, and we do the counseling component for their E3 program. Which is a vocational program.
Okay.
And we also work with Ready to Connect, which is in Rincon. We work with Mercy Housing, and we go to 3 different locations for them. Savannah Gardens is one of them.
Right.
We also go out to McFadden Place, and there's the Rose of Sharon here in Savannah. McFadden Place is in Pembroke. So there we're working with seniors and working with, getting aging gracefully and all of those issues that come up for seniors. And then we work with Performance Initiatives, and that's a youth program. And they do weightlifting. They're amazing program that really gets disadvantaged children off the streets.
That is vaguely ringing a bell. I started to say I don't really know that organization, but I have come across that somewhere. That's interesting, yeah. And
we provide their counseling component. It's been a wonderful partnership for years. I think we started in 2007. And we've really loved partnering with them. And now, again, that's the youth.
Right.
So it's a very different programming. And then we also work with St. Mary's Community Center.
Okay.
And that's, again, a very different population, and it's something we're over there once a week. We do group services, a specific program and a curriculum, and then we do individual counseling.
Wow. You guys cover a lot of bases. You work with a lot of organizations. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. And you guys opened just... about 2 years, about 2015, 2 years
about a year
ago,
and a half,
and a half ago. Okay, all right. And you had a grand opening there at your counseling center. So
yes, we've been really, really enjoying it, and the amount of services that we provide have grown. Oh gosh, I think it's about tenfold.
Wow.
Yes,
because you were providing services before that. Actually, weren't you?
Yes. So we had another location. It was just limiting. But now we have an entire center. We have 25 counselors on site providing services. We are now providing services Monday through Saturday. We're there from 9 to 8:30 p.m. and we're busy around the clock.
Wow. That's good. Now, is it a nonprofit?
It is a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit. Yes. So that's a good thing.
It's a real nonprofit, the kind that doesn't take any government funding.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, you use no taxpayer dollars.
No taxpayer dollars
at all. So
that's correct.
That's kind of
and we work
nice.
with 100% volunteer staff.
Tough for you, but that's you know.
Yeah, volunteer staff, no government funding. Everything we do is, with hopefully the Savannah community kind of wrapping their arms around us and saying, we need you. We can see how much we need you. And then honestly, the people receiving the services are the ones that fund the program. That $15 serving that many people goes a long way.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, $15. That's that's for each individual. That's not a lot, but it adds up for you to.
Savannah's a community in need. I did not honestly realize how deep that need ran.
Absolutely, it is.
But it is a community in need.
It absolutely is, and and that was what I found kind of shocking when Step Up Savannah came, that first show, and they were throwing out some numbers there, which I won't be able to reciprocate right now, I'm afraid, off with my faulty memory. But at any rate, I was really shocked. I mean, I everybody knows that there's poverty here in the city. There is violence here in the city, and everybody knows that. But boys, when you have those numbers actually thrown out to you, and you think, my goodness, it's
very
a
prevalent.
big issue, and it's a lot more prevalent than a lot of people may.
And when you
realize.
Work in addictions, as Hugs does primarily, also mental health, of course, but our nation has a big epidemic on its hands, but Savannah is up on the list.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, of course, that feeds poverty and violence. I mean, so not every bit of those two things, but, I mean, certainly a good bit of it.
Sure.
Stems out directly or indirectly from a drug issue. So,
absolutely.
So you said that is something that you're trained in yourself.
Yes. I'm specialized in chemical dependency, but also behavioral addictions. So I work with eating disorders and with sexual addiction and compulsivity and things of that nature.
Wow.
Gambling, peer process disorders.
Wow, that's tough work. You must.
It's
you
good
must
work.
Get a lot out of it.
It's good work because I'm telling you, the people who come in are the best people. The people who come in ready for help, raw, vulnerable. I'm telling you, they're the salt of the earth. Those are the people you want to serve.
Well, that's I mean, it's if they show the initiative to come in, then obviously they're.
Yeah, and Hugs requires one thing. Motivation.
That's
it. But it is a requirement.
Okay. Well, you got.
We will let you go.
You gotta have that. I mean, because it's it's not an easy process.
No, it's not. It's a long, hard process, and you have to be ready.
And you got to be, you got to be motivated to do it. But it can mess up your life, people's lives, so much that
and family.
They ought to be motivated.
Yeah, and I always say that particular disease, the disease of addiction, it doesn't just want you; it wants everyone around you, and it will claim
that's true.
It will claim it all.
Yeah, that's true. So, do you get that? Do you get family and friends of people that come in and seek?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, that can be the initial motivating factor is a loved one coming in and, really trying to seek the help for someone else. And there is a process of trying to get that individual, the identified patient, motivated. And we do work with families, absolutely. And we actually have a group separate for family members who are struggling with an addicted loved one.
Let me just take a slightly different tact here for a minute, and we'll come back around. But do you guys have any sort of fundraisers or anything through the year? And tell us kind of when those are.
Honestly, we have one.
Okay.
Very large annual. Yeah. We have ways that people can contribute throughout the year, and that's online donations. But
so online, you can anybody can go
absolutely.
online, and there is a clear link.
There's a clear link. It's a donate button that you can push and go to, and a lot of people do monthly giving, and so it's automatically deducted through credit card or however. And the suggested amount is the $15 to, we call it sponsoring, to sponsor somebody for monthly counseling.
But people can give as much as they want.
They can give as much as they want, and it is needed.
Yeah.
Especially we're looking to this year, one of our big asks to the community, and it hadn't really been answered yet, to be honest, was we wanted to start after-school programming for children, for youth going up to age 18. There's just a lot of struggles that are going on, and you remember being that age, you don't really go directly to your parents to talk about it.
No.
And if you don't go to your parents, you're usually going to the wrong person
to
find out those answers. So we really wanted to implement this after-school program for the youth in Savannah, and of course incorporate the family into that process. So that is something we're asking people to get involved in this year.
And so I interrupted you. You were telling us about the one big
Yes, we have
event,
it's called the Boo Bash, and it's for Halloween.
Oh, the Boo Bash.
Okay. And so we have a really big annual fundraiser, and it is when I say fundraiser, it is an FUN fundraiser. I mean, it is a blast. It's a great time. There's dancing performers. Everyone's dressed up.
Is this
it's
at your facility?
Amazing costume party. No, this year we had it on Bull Street at the. Oh goodness! So it was right next to Brighter Day.
Okay. That's nice. I thought I might have seen it, but no. Okay.
The American Legion.
It's right there.
The Legion right now.
Okay. In the building there? Inside. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I know right where you're at. Right at the south end of Forsyth Park.
Yeah. And next year's going to be at the Ailey Temple.
Oh,
and it gets bigger and bigger every year. And people just, everyone needs an excuse at Halloween to get dressed up and go have fun and have a good time.
Some people don't need an excuse. But
it is.
You're right.
Well, this is a great excuse.
You have an excuse.
And it is our really only opportunity or the time during the year that we ask people to really come out and contribute and get involved and learn a little bit more about the organization and have some fun doing it.
Sounds like it's fun. And I will try and remember to put you down and invite you back close to that point.
We would love that.
So that we can remind everybody about that event coming up. Okay, so again, let's talk about just some of the various kinds of programs and things that you do. You talk about doing some living skills and vocational training kinds of things. Do you do a little computers stuff at all?
We have a computer lab on site, which is accessible for all of our clients.
Okay.
In the Ready to Work program and just any of our clients.
Okay.
And we do have someone there to teach computer skills and things of that nature.
Okay, good.
Mainly, what we do on site are just your classic clinical services. So we do outpatient services and intensive outpatient services of a variety. We've got just your individual services that are offered 9 to 8:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And then we have we do different groups. We have anger management courses that we do for the court system.
I know.
And it's a great program. We also have a therapeutic parenting course, which I love. Ours is a little bit different. It's been written and developed by clinicians through the HUGS organization, and it's really tailored to help parents understand how they were parented, some of their needs that were maybe lacking, and how maybe that contributes to their ability or inability to parent their children.
Absolutely.
So it's not punitive. It's not teaching people how to parent. It's helping people really gain that insight into perhaps why there is struggle in that parenting process. And of course, some of that can be self-imposed addiction and things like that. And we're also there to step in to help them with those issues with our intensive outpatient program. And for that program, people come in 4 days a week for 16 hours a week. So they receive their random urine drug screenings, individual counseling, 2 hours of group 4 days a week, and they also have psychoeducation.
Wow, that is pretty intensive.
And we do it from 3 months to 6 months, depending on the individual, and it's extremely effective.
Okay. Excellent. Is there a particular name? And maybe you said it. I missed it. But for that particular program,
it's just an intensive outpatient program, and that's a definition that's given by ASAM level of care the government puts out.
Right,
so there's a specific requirement there. Ours is a little bit different in a few ways. One, the amount of flexibility that we provide for our individuals who work or have things, we're able to extend their length of stay versus.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and we find in treatment, it's more about your length of stay than it is about the intensity. It's about time. And so most IOP programs are 8 weeks, or almost all of them are. HUGS is 3 to 6 months.
That's good because it takes a while. This is not, you can't just, overturn all the mechanisms that are at work in a quick period of time. And this is, you talk about a commitment, and that is a commitment. And you need to make a commitment if you're having that kind of problem, that kind of issue. And the fact that this goes on so long, I think, is a big plus. And
I think it's a testament to the program and also to our participants. After the 6 months is up or 3 months is up, they keep coming back. And
really?
So we have a group.
That says a lot.
We have a group that is branched out of that program for aftercare, and they really do. They're bonded. They have found the benefits of that, and they keep coming back.
Yeah, you were talking about parenting, and I know that I've encountered a few people through the years who've been in some kind of counseling or whatever for some reason, and I've heard more than once that, particularly with a parent, that the awareness that sometimes hits them that, boy, I sound just like my mother, or I sound just like my father.
Yes,
is sort of sometimes the key that they say, I need to get some help with this because so many of us, and for whatever reason, we've had parents. Nobody's perfect, and nobody's parents.
There is no perfect parent, and there's no perfect way to parent.
Absolutely. So sometimes people who had difficult childhoods or difficulties with their parents or whatever, sometimes it's the realization that they're carrying on because we soak that stuff in when we're young, and we think that's the way it's supposed to be,
right?
Because that's how the world we live in, and we sort of don't realize, wait a minute, it doesn't have to be that way. We can change the paradigm ourselves.
Absolutely.
So that's good, yeah.
But with that, it's a lot of, when you ask people about what they took away from their parents, it's oftentimes a lot of what not to do.
Yeah, exactly.
and that's okay because that's valuable information.
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely. You got to look at it right, even if it's what not to do. Absolutely. Okay, good deal. So, just on a lighter note, again, a New Year going on here in 2017. You have any particular resolutions? Do you believe in resolutions? But that's actually an interesting question. Are resolutions a good thing, or are they self-defeating? I guess it can go either way.
It can absolutely go either way. Yeah. I think people have a tendency to be hard on themselves and be very black and white. Humans seem to really struggle in the gray.
Yes.
And so if resolutions can be kind of in the gray instead of so black and white, I think they can be healthy.
Intellectually and emotionally, people can be so black and white. It's really difficult because there's very little in this world that's black and white from my experience. I'm not sure anything is.
I'm not sure anything is either.
And people just can't handle gray very well.
That's right.
Okay, so yeah, I mean it can go either way.
But I think
if it's yeah,
I think when it comes to counseling or just people being prepared for a change, I think the resolutions are healthy to be like, okay, now I'm prepared for a change, and that's a big part of kind of like how
Good
we
point.
began. The show was just saying, people kind of stepped away for a minute, and now I think it is a time for people to resolve to get back on track. I mean, that's the way people are right now with food, with diet, with exercise, and all of these things, and so there's been a time where people have pulled away from their healthy habits, and now I think it is a moment where people can say, all right, there are some things I've known for quite some time I wanted to address. Maybe incorporating counseling once a week into my life is not such a bad thing.
yeah.
Not such a scary thing.
Excellent. Okay. We are kind of winding down to this first segment, and by the way, I did not even mention in the beginning, and I should have, that our second guest is with the Davenport House, and they have a big event coming up. The first time they ever had this particular event, the Davenport Soiree, and tickets are on sale now. The event is the 19th from 2 to 5 at Elizabeth's on 37th, and we will have someone in just a minute talking with us about that. Okay. Any final thoughts? You've got the fundraiser that won't be till October. I think anything that we've just kind of missed, or that we should you just particularly want to say here before we wrap up, Andrea.
Well, I mean,
you've given lots of good information, but
I guess just while I have the your attention, the community's attention, just to let them know that Hugs is out there, it's available, and it's has no ulterior motives. I mean, it really just is there, designed for the community, to meet the community's needs. It's not a scary place. It's actually pretty fun, very warm, inviting, accepting place to come when you're ready. And for individuals who aren't seeking counseling or don't know somebody who is seeking counseling right now, please support this, because there is such a tremendous need out there. We don't accept government dollars. We're not taking your tax dollar.
Exactly.
Please, open up your hearts to Hugs and come by, do a tour, get to know us, see what we do, and look at our stats, see the tremendous impact we've made. We've saved this community $2 million last year.
Wow.
Yep. For Medicaid, all the insurance, all the stuff that we don't accept, everything you're paying for, we've saved this community. Wow. So, just search your heart and your wallet and see what you can do for Hugs, because it really is making an impact.
Excellent. So you're open. Your door's open to anybody.
Absolutely.
Whether they're coming in for some counseling, whether you're coming in just to take a look at the place, to consider volunteering, to consider giving some money, whatever it is, your door's open, right?
Our door's open.
And again, you're located at
706 Wheaton Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hours are.
We're there from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Excellent.
And we also have, other things going on through the Ready to Work program. So we have a community garden in Thunderbolt. People can get involved that way.
Cool.
And we have, to be continued, our vintage thrift store, which is also on site. So come out and do some shopping and just get to know us.
Good. And by the way, can you get I hesitate to actually ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Can you actually get a literal hug at Hugs?
You actually can.
Oh, well.
You can do all kinds of things at Hugs. You can get a hug. You can be yourself. You don't have to be politically or socially correct. You can come in and just be exactly who you are, and you will be accepted that way.
Excellent. A hug,
authenticity. We're really big into that.
a hug is one of life's great little pleasures. That's a great thing. All right, Andrea, thank you very much. And folks, hang on with us. We're going to take a brief interlude and get ready for our second segment. But hold on just a minute, and we'll be back.
come, I feel like no one here is real. Who can tell me where it is that I should be? Your bed so soft, but I can feel the sheets tossing, turning. Close my eyes to sleep, but there is no rest, no peace, no sleep. Their eyes are very deep. When did I go to your love? When did I go to me? Aren't you? I swear I did not think I would. Somehow I'm here, wishing I was not. I've been so dead, so long I can't recall. When you kill me, lift me up to let me fall. There is no rest, no peace, no sleep. Their lies are very deep. When did I go to your love? When did I go to me?
You're listening to WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul.
Good to have you back, folks. This is Wayne again. I want to let you know that this portion of WRUULP Savannah Soundings programming here on Savannah Lexicon is made possible by a grant from Folklorico Gift Shop, offering textiles, artwork, jewelry, and other items from around the world. Folklorico Gift Shop is located at 440 Bull Street. More information available at 912-232-9300. And our second segment here, we have Brooke Wilford, who is the past chairman of the Davenport House Committee. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay. Also a docent there, a history player, and recently did a term on the Historic Savannah Foundation. So, Brooke, we are glad to have you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for coming in, and I'll admit that Brooke had to respond quickly. We had a situation where we did not have anybody scheduled. We thought we did, and that fell through, so I kind of put in a quick call to the Davenport House folks, and they and Brooke were kind enough to respond here quickly. And it's good. It turned out to be very good timing because you have this really interesting event coming up, which, if I understand correctly, is the first one of this particular event. Is that right?
That's right. We're going to have on February 19th at Elizabeth on 37th.
Good place.
Yes, indeed. We're going to have a lovely cocktail party with music and delicious food from Elizabeth, and wine and beer, and it is our annual fundraiser. In the past, we've been doing oyster roasts and having, I think 5, 6, 7 years now, we've been doing oyster roasts at some of the beautiful plantations around our area and some of the private homes. But we decided it was time to shake things up a little bit and to try something new. And so we're going to have this party from 2 to 6 on February 19th. And in addition, we're going to have on the Friday night beforehand a private cocktail party in the Davenport house by candlelight for all of our major sponsors. And we have a number of wonderful people, including our title sponsor, Automated Business Resources, ABR, here in Savannah, with Catherine and David Murph at the helm there. So we're very happy with this idea as well. We're going to have our history players in costumes serving. We're going to have music, and the whole event will be by candlelight. So I think it will be a beautiful weekend and an exciting new type of fundraiser for us.
Excellent.
Yes.
So this will now be your primary fundraiser.
For this year.
For this year.
One of the reasons that we decided to make the change from the oyster roast to something as exciting as having an event at Elizabeth on 37th is because it would give us the opportunity to brainstorm other wonderful places here in town, other historic places that we might be able to have our annual fundraiser to make it even more exciting.
Okay. All right. But it sounds like you're going to stick, or maybe, who knows, but you're going to stick maybe with the soiree idea at least.
I think for right now, we're focused on the soiree, hoping that this will be a wonderful event. It is a limited ticket event, so we hope people will call the Davenport House or go to the Davenport House website, which is davenporthousemuseum.org, and buy some tickets. That's always an exciting thing for us to see tickets being purchased. Our invitations will be going out in this week, so people will be hearing more and more about it. And of course, once again, with the fundraising idea at Elizabeth's, Davenport House and Historic Savannah Foundation are leaders in the preservation movement here in town.
Oh, sure, yeah. And
the Davenport House is important in its role for helping to found the Historic Savannah Foundation.
Yes, indeed. And we had Daniel on as a guest not too long ago. So, yeah, that's a quite nice organization.
It's a wonderful organization.
Does a lot for Savannah.
With their revolving fund, they save hundreds of houses. They have saved hundreds of houses. They continue to save houses, and that really gives us great joy in the preservation movement.
Now, from what I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I have been known to be wrong, just occasionally, but it does happen. But you guys, I think, are going to have, if I'm pronouncing this correct, Kim Pelote?
Yes, Kim Michael Pelote, who is a Savannah songstress, will be singing at our event.
Oh, boy.
Both with and without a backup band, I believe, players, I should say, not a band. And Kim has been very excited to work with us and we to work with her. I don't know if you've ever heard her sing, but she's really remarkable.
I tell you, I've only heard her online, and I sure want to hear her in person. In fact, I'm going to try to get her here.
Well, we'll hook you up with Kim.
Yeah, please do. Please do. We want to get her on here and talk to her, just in general about what she's up to other than this, and this as well. But, yeah, I definitely, that's going to be nice. I'll tell you, She's got a heck of a voice.
She does indeed. She does indeed. And she does sing a lot of the old Johnny Mercer songs and some of the old standards, as well as rhythm and blues and lots of exciting new works as well.
Also at this event, I believe, if I'm correct, is that there is a silent auction
Yes,
for
indeed.
one-of-a-kind art.
We are going to have a silent auction, and we have all kinds of wonderful things to auction off, including beach houses in Maryland and vacation rentals in and around this area. Yes, exactly.
Because if you're giving the actual
we're not
beach
giving the house
I'll
away,
be
just
there.
a nice visit to it. We have a lot of restaurants and other kinds of services here in town that have donated very willingly to us to make up some nice packages for the raffle. And as part of the event, we also have the raffle, that was the silent auction. We also have a raffle for a fabulous sculpture. I think it's called the Three Graces.
Three Graces, yeah.
Right, that was created by Miss June Ray. And Miss June Ray is a resident of Savannah, and her work has appeared in lots of galleries throughout the South. And she's very varied career. I think she was in fashion design and manufacturing and all kinds of things. But she's a great artist, and she's given us this beautiful sculpture. And it's, well, what she says, it's carved out of Italian raspberry alabaster. And like Michelangelo's famous sculpture of the slaves, the female forms emerge from the alabaster. It's quite beautiful.
Oh, man.
And so people will have the opportunity to raffle that. So we have the silent auction and the raffle.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, very exciting.
This is nice.
We're going to jam-pack this event.
I believe you are. And Elizabeth's on 37th. You can't go wrong with that.
Right.
So,
That's right.
And I was just going to note, this isn't new, but it just struck me when I was looking online about the Davenport House, and I was reminded that you guys won the Governor's Award in the Humanities in 2010.
With Mr. President Bush.
President Bush, and I was just going to read a little bit out of what was included in the Governor's Award statement about it. It said, since 1955, the Davenport House Museum of Savannah has served as a model for preservation, museum interpretive practices, and education programming. And in addition, the campaign to save the Davenport House inspired the creation of the historic Savannah Foundation, which has helped to sustain Savannah's unique ethic of preservation, which communities across Georgia and beyond have subsequently emulated. The federal-style home of a merchant craftsman, the Davenport House, has been carefully restored and authentically interpreted.
That's absolutely correct.
And it goes on, but I'm not going to go on. That's long enough. But.
It's a very interesting story, actually. This house was built in 1820 by master builder Isaiah Davenport for himself and for his family. And he worked on it for 7 years. He lived there with his family, 6 children, I believe, and 9 slaves, and Mr. and Mrs. Davenport. And then in 1827, Mr. Davenport fell ill with yellow fever and died.
Yeah, many people did here.
Right. And upon his death, a tax inventory was created of the things that were in his home. And sometime after the 7 ladies in 1955 saved the Davenport House and turned it into a museum, this inventory was discovered. And from that inventory, we've been able to recreate the items that were in the house at the time of Mr. Davenport's death, so that we have a very close understanding of how that family lived in 1820 to 1827.
Wow, yeah, and that's sort of the period of interpretation, as they call it,
yes.
for the museum.
That's correct.
1820 to 1827.
Correct, because we really know what was there then by this list. We know down to how many used candles, fresh candles,
wow,
chairs, how many pieces of silverware and everything that.
Of course, most people in Savannah know all about the Davenport House, and they know what it is. But But just tell us a little bit. And by the way, you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Christmas at Davenport House is always
That's right.
Really,
we had
really
the tours
special.
by candlelight that are very exciting, and we decorate the house once again in the style of the 1820s, as they would have for the holiday. Christmas was not quite as extravagant as New Year's. In that time, but it all looks very beautiful. Yeah,
I didn't know that really.
That's right.
Okay,
we do, and the Davenport House has a number of fabulous programs for. In the fall, we always have an event. Most recently, Yellow Fever. Raleigh Marcel has created some scripts for us and some dramatic representations, and we can tell the story of what it was like with the yellow fever at the time, the deaths, the disagreements as to how and why people were becoming ill.
Exactly.
And it's a great program in the spring and late winter. We have tea with Mrs. Davenport, either in the home or out in the garden, depending on the weather. And that, once again, we have a guest come in, Mrs. Martha Bayard Smith from Washington City, who talks of the stories of the types of social things that were happening at the time. No politics allowed in Mrs. Davenport's tea.
Sounds like a good idea. Particularly these days, it would be a good idea.
That's right. That's absolutely true. And the history players are in costume and speak, again, from scripts written by Mr. Marcel that unfold the story of how ladies would have been having tea at the time, what they would have been discussing, the fashions, the different things that would have been on their mind at the time. So that's very exciting. We do have the candlelight tours every Christmas. And we have a number of other programs, such as our harvest lectures. Every year we have a couple of lectures on historic topics.
Okay, right.
Many of them recently on the enslaved people, urban slavery in Savannah, which is something that's become very interesting to us.
Yeah.
As we wish to interpret all of the stories of the peoples of 1820 to 1827.
Good. Yeah, and it's slavery, urban slavery is certainly can be at least quite different in some senses.
That's right.
Than what we
Absolutely.
normally think of as on a plantation.
It's
type
very
slavery
different, and it really is an important part of the story.
Oh, sure.
Because the Davenports could not have lived the way they did
Exactly.
without that support.
Yeah. Okay, and so you just say you're kind of a history buff, right?
Yeah, we call ourselves history geeks.
History geeks? Okay. All right. And so you enjoy just being a docent and showing people.
That's right.
The house.
We have a wonderful time. We have fabulous docents. And I might also add, Jamie Cradle, is the director there, and she's got a wonderful program for junior interpreters. She has students in the summer and then students the rest of the year, I think, from the Savannah Arts Academy, who learn to become docents and actually run tours during their time of high school, which is exciting. We're going to get that next generation of history geeks going.
All right.
So
Excellent.
We do have that. We have wonderful docents. They give tours that last about a half an hour, and they talk about the style of the house, the architectural details of the house, the customs of the family, and then what we know of the Davenport House family themselves. We give all of those stories.
Excellent.
Yes.
It's beautifully done.
And we also have a Madeira tour. That's kind of exciting because you get to sample the flavorful wine.
Sip a little bit. Okay. That's always good.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I mean, that's a normal ongoing.
That's a special tour that is booked. Yes.
Okay. And is that? But I mean, is it offered year round or is
yes,
it just,
it is.
Oh, it is offered year round.
I believe it. Well, I'm not sure if it's year round.
Okay.
Or whether it's just during certain times of the year.
Okay, but at least not just once a year.
We have so many things.
I know you do, and honestly,
and our website lists them all and keeps you up to date so that coming and seeing.
Yeah.
And I tell you, one of the things that I encourage people is even if you've been to one of these events, we are always learning new pieces of information, reinterpreting what we've learned. researching the times, adding new aspects, changing other aspects as we learn new things. One of the things that we've just done is added new wallpaper to our main hallways on the second floor, and this was a story in reinterpretation and research. Our old wallpaper, which was an historic reproduction of wallpapers of the time, carefully researched, had begun to bubble in a few places. The humidity kind of gets to things. And when the Berrien house was being renovated, we had the opportunity to find some of the early wallpapers, uncover some of the early wallpapers in that home. And we were able to recreate a new block and a new printing of a wallpaper that was part of that home. And put that up.
I see.
It tells a new story, and it's something new that we've learned. And so we are always changing as we get more information.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that if people who live here haven't been to the Davenport house in a long time, you ought to go back, because it's.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, and I'll tell you, it's
experience.
A happy place.
Yeah, it's a new experience. I mean, like I say, people who've lived here a long time or from here, surely they have been there at some point.
And I think it's important to go there because it really does. It is the footprint of where we began in our historic preservation. And, of course, without the historic preservation and the Historic Savannah Foundation, I don't think we would be as beautiful as we are. I mean, certainly there were other elements, but we've played a very strong role in maintaining the town's beauty.
Absolutely, no question about it. Okay, now back to the soiree before we close out.
Sure.
And, well, hold on just a minute. Let me just say that next week we will have some folks associated with the Martin Luther King Observance Day. So that's going to be the show next week. So tune into that. That will be of great interest, I think. And certainly as we get ready for that holiday, that celebration. Okay, now back as we close out about the soiree. And by the way, again, make sure, but I have the tickets can be purchased online, of course.
That's correct.
And there's an order blank there online.
That's correct.
And then also by calling 912-236-8097.
That's correct.
Now, is that your regular number? Or
that's our regular number.
Okay. That's
the ladies in the gift shop. Don't forget, we have a beautiful gift shop, too.
Okay. Let's not forget
Lots of new exciting things in that gift shop. Right. And we do hope that everybody will be enchanted by this idea of the soiree and Elizabeth's on 37th and song and food by the storied Elizabeths and just come and have a great time and listen to Kim Pelote sing and just have a wonderful time with us. And know that the money that we raise here is our major fundraising dollars for the year that help us run all these wonderful programs that we have. So
Excellent.
It's a very important thing.
Excellent. Brooke, thank you again so much
My
for coming
pleasure.
in today. We do appreciate it, and we'll have Davenport, you or somebody from Davenport back again for sure.
We like to keep it on everybody's mind.
Absolutely, and we want to help you do that.
Great.
All right, well, we're going to go to a station break, and that's going to do it for us here today on Savannah Lexicon. We do appreciate your listening, and check in with us again next week.